Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're stepping into the ring for the ultimate battle over your digital assets. It's 2026, and the crypto world is, well, it's a high-stakes arena. We're talking incredible rewards on one side and absolutely devastating risks on the other. So the big question is, how do you come out on top? Okay, let's just dive right in, because this slide really lays out the core conflict every single investor is up against. You look to the left and you see that incredible potential. An asset like Dogecoin delivering average returns of nearly 800%. Wow. But then you look to the right and you get hit with this very real, very sobering number, $3.4 billion. That's how much was just gone, stolen in 2025 alone. You see, this isn't just a market, it's a showdown.
So, to navigate this, you really can't just jump in blind. We've got to understand the battlefield first. What are the rules of engagement? And more importantly, where is the danger really hiding? Now, this gets right to the heart of what makes crypto so different. See, with a normal bank, they hold your money, but you have clear legal ownership. In crypto, if an exchange holds your coins, they hold the keys. And you've heard the saying, whoever holds the keys holds the crypto. It's the most fundamental rule in this entire space. Not your keys, not your crypto. And this chart just brilliantly illustrates the sheer scale of that risk we're talking about. We're looking at volatility, basically how wildly the price swings up and down. A low-risk stock, it barely even makes a blip on the chart, sitting way down there at 0.06. But Dogecoin, it's over 14. That's not just a little more risk. We're talking about a completely different universe of price movement.
All right, let's move on and meet the bad guys. It's time to profile the villains who exploit all this volatility and prey on investors. Let's look at the threats that really defined 2025. $1.5 billion. Just let that sink in for a second. This wasn't the total stolen for the entire year. No, this was the value of the single largest crypto heist in history, ripped from the Bybit exchange back in February 2025. Just one attack, one massive market-shaking blow. And you have to understand, these aren't just some lone hackers typing away in a basement. The biggest threats are organized, they're well-funded, and they're often state-sponsored groups like North Korea's infamous Lazarus Group. They don't just guess your password. They run incredibly complex, long-term operations, sometimes spending months just building trust with a single employee to get inside.
And their weapons? They're evolving at a pace that is frankly pretty terrifying. AI has put phishing attacks on steroids. Scammers can now clone a CEO's voice from a YouTube video, create a pixel-perfect replica of an official website, or craft a scam email that's so personalized it feels completely legitimate. The line between what's real and what's fake has never been blurrier.
This is the rogues gallery from 2025, and it just shows how widespread the problem really was. It wasn't just one big exchange. We saw support systems at major players like Coinbase get exploited, decentralized finance protocols got drained, even smaller regional exchanges were hit hard. The takeaway? Pretty much no corner of the crypto world was truly safe. Okay, enough about the villains, let's talk about the heroes. And you know what? In this story, the hero is you. So let's look at the arsenal, the security toolkit you can use to fight back and lock down your assets. This right here is the single most important mindset shift you can possibly make. There's no FDIC insurance to bail you out. There's no bank manager to call and say, hey, can you reverse that transaction? In this world, the responsibility for security rests entirely on your shoulders. You are the bank. You are the vault. So how do you act like your own bank? Well, the industry best practice is this simple firewall strategy. Think of it just like a savings account and a checking account. 90% of your assets, your long-term savings, goes into cold storage. That's a hardware wallet totally disconnected from the internet. The other 10%, that can stay in a hot wallet on an exchange, ready for you to trade. It just drastically limits your exposure if that exchange ever gets hit. Okay, now your seed phrase, those 12 or 24 words, that is the master key to everything. If a hacker gets it, it's game over. So it should never, ever, ever touch a device connected to the internet. No pictures, no text files, nothing. You write it down. Or even better, you stamp it into a metal plate that can literally survive a fire or a flood, and then you lock it away somewhere safe. And these are the everyday habits that become your digital armor. You gotta ditch SMS for two-factor authentication. It's just too easy for hackers to swap your SIM card and take over your phone number. Use an authenticator app or, better yet, a physical security key.
Bookmark the official site so you don't click on a fake link. And maybe most importantly, when you go to send crypto, always trust the screen on your little hardware device, not the one on your computer, which could be lying to you.
All right, so beyond what you can do personally, the entire system is starting to grow up. You could say the cavalry is finally arriving, and they're wearing suits. Regulators are, at last, starting to build some real guardrails around the crypto market.
And this is the big question, right? It's what every investor coming over from traditional markets wants to know. You're used to having a safety net. Does that same safety net exist here in the world of crypto? Well, the answer for now is a very clear and simple no. That SIP insurance that protects your stock portfolio up to $500,000 if your brokerage firm goes under, it does not apply to cryptocurrency. And this just hammers home that point again. You are your own bank. Those institutional safety nets, they just aren't here yet.
But, and this is a big but, the market is evolving. The Wild West era is finally coming to an end. These comprehensive regulatory frameworks, like the big one in the EU called MiCA, are forcing crypto companies to adopt much higher standards. We're talking real consumer protection, better governance. It's a huge step toward making the whole market more mature.
Okay, let's put it all together. We've seen the villains, we've gone through our hero's toolkit, and we understand the changing landscape. So here it is, your final, actionable survival guide for navigating the crypto market in 2026.
Now, this checklist, it isn't about one single magic trick. It's about building a fortress, layer by layer. First, you armor up with that hardware wallet. Second, you master your keys by getting that seed phrase offline and into something permanent, like metal. Third, apply the 90-10 rule to build a firewall for your wealth. Fourth, verify everything on a trusted device. And finally, stay vigilant, because the bad guys are always getting smarter.
And you know, that's really what this all comes down to. The landscape really has changed. The infrastructure to be safe is out there, the rules are getting clearer, the tools are more powerful than they have ever been. So the biggest variable in the security equation, it's not the technology anymore. It's you. The power and the responsibility are in your hands.